Welcome to the Pittsburgh Dish. I'm your host, Doug Heilman. Are you ready for your warm weather grilling and gatherings? How about that trip to the beach? This week, we're covering tips, hacks, recipes, and more with a longtime friend of the show. So whatever you have going on this season, you're set up for success. All that ahead. Stay tuned. Well, thank you for coming back over.
My pleasure.
And welcome back to the show. Would you introduce yourself to our listeners and what you have going on right now in the world of food?
Sure. I'm Janet Loughran. You'll know me as Chef Life Hacks on Instagram and Facebook. I am just having fun this summer. I'm kind of seeing what's going to happen and fall in my lap and go from there. But it's been crazy busy in a good way. It's a good problem to have.
Well, the reason we're getting together is because we are coming into the height of summer. We're recording just before the 4th of July. We all know it's America's 250th anniversary, and you have been putting out barbecue hacks or picnic hacks, maybe even travel hacks. So we thought it would be a great idea to get back together. We sometimes did this in like Thanksgiving holiday time, but why not do a summer edition?
Oh, I know. I have so many in my head.
Well, that's it. If anyone's following you on your socials, I mean, it is tip, hack, just
central
smart thing to do that I've never thought of. I thought that's where we could go.
I never knew that I was going to be doing this, but it's so me because I'm such a factoid person. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. It makes it easier. Let's share it with the world.
Right.
So
you don't keep it to yourself.
Thing. Yeah. Yep.
Well, we are in the height of folks barbecuing or grilling, whatever you like to call it. I mean, I just have a grill, but folks like charcoal and smokers. I was wondering, do you have any tips for the grilling season? Like, is there anything that you've seen or that you do that you're like, oh, that is a game changer?
Oh, yes. And I actually thought about it this past weekend. So whenever you are using a charcoal grill, I do not like whenever people use lighter fluid. I can always smell it. I can always taste it. No matter how long you think, you let it burn off, I can always do that or taste that. So what I do is I'll either take a rolled up paper towel or a newspaper and I'll douse it in any sort of oil that you have and use that as your starter.
Like a cooking oil?
Basically,
like
yes.
Olive oil, avocado oil?
Any oil that you have.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, you're just going to kind of put that in the middle of the chimney starter whenever you're, getting your coals ready.
With those coals.
You could even put it in a bed of coals. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in a chimney starter. I did asado cooking where you kind of cook over, it's very primal. Yeah, primal. There we go. And that's how I started all of it. Yeah. And then you just light that and it'll slowly get all those embers going. And it works really well. It doesn't taste like anything. So,
well, what I do love, and I don't do it enough, is charcoal grilling. If you don't add that lighter fluid, it has a great taste.
It does, definitely.
So good.
And I like to add a little bit of wood chips in there too, just for a little bit more smoky flavor.
Exactly right. Now, I've seen this from America's Test Kitchen, so I'll throw one more in. If you're doing something in a charcoal grill that takes a long time, have you heard of the charcoal snake method? Have you done this?
I haven't done it, but I have heard about it, and it's genius.
Yeah. So you take your briquettes and you line them like usually around the outer perimeter of one of those kettle grills, but you only light like the first one.
The corner, yeah.
Yeah. And so over time, if you're doing like a slow roasty, I don't know, ribs or brisket or something, it just takes forever to make them all light, but it keeps that heat so even. So I thought that was brilliant.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
You have to use that for sure.
What else in your repertoire for grilling?
Let's see. If you want to clean a grill, did you know you can use a cut onion? Actually,
no.
Yeah. Before you turn it on, don't turn it on yet.
Okay, so don't fire the grill up. Don't get it hot.
Yeah, we're gonna rub that all over, and then we're gonna light it, and then we're gonna do that again. And if you do that every time, and actually at the end of cooking, before right after you turn it off, it really helps to keep it more nonstick and not have a lot of char kind of build up on those lines. Those grates.
So this is any big onion. I've just cut it in half, and the raw side that's exposed, I can go out to my cold grill and rub it over. But then again, when we turn the grill on, heat it up, grab some tongs, hold the onion, do it again.
If it's really, really bad, you could also start with a wadded up piece of aluminum foil. And that will give a little more abrasiveness to it. and then start with the onion. I don't like to use the cleaning bristle or brushes because the bristles can get into the food. You don't even realize. Yeah. So.
I've heard that same thing. And so for folks out there that might have those metal bristle brushes, not so good if they flake off. I've even heard people ingest them and then they have problems. So we stay away from all that when we clean the grill.
Yep.
Let's use an onion. Okay, Janet. So before we move away from the grill, I love when I see some of your actual cooking techniques. Can you tell us about the one for the steak to get the beautiful diamond pattern?
Oh, yeah. That's actually much easier than you think it is.
Okay.
The biggest thing is you don't want to touch it too much other than whenever you flip it.
Okay.
So basically what you're going to do, if the grates are perpendicular, you're basically going to put one of the top of the steaks, if you think of a clock, at where 10 o'clock is. Okay. So a little bit on a diagonal for those straight lines. After 4, 5, 6, however long you need to put it on there, just literally move it from 10 to 2. So it's going to be pointing to the left and then it's going to be pointing to the right. And then don't touch it.
Yes.
And if you turn it over, it's going to be a beautiful diamond pattern. And honestly, I don't diamond the other side. No one's going to see it. They're just cutting through the beautiful part.
Do that first side.
Exactly.
And beforehand, we need to get the grill nice and hot before we do that first set down, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to get those first marks too.
Right.
Okay.
And the grill needs to be, it's not the heat, it's the actual grill, the grate
grates.
itself that's giving you that. Yeah.
Okay.
So nice and hot.
Diamond pattern on your beautiful steaks.
10 and 2, that's all you got to do.
Aha, I love that. I love that. What about, I just did a cooking class and we did skewers, but we were in a classroom, so we did them in the oven. I think you have a tip on like skewered meats and things.
Right.
If we're grilling, what should we do?
If you don't have metal skewers and you have wooden ones, always want to make sure that you soak those for at least 30 minutes, up to an hour. The longer you can do it, the better. Because as soon as you put them on that high heat, they're going to disintegrate and be gone.
Yeah, they're going to burn and they're going to break.
Right,
so
exactly.
We want really wet wooden skewers.
Yes.
So that everything stays together.
Exactly. Yes.
I have a side question, and you may not have an answer. Sometimes my skewered things, they just spin. Do you have any techniques for like putting things on? Like, do you double pierce something so it doesn't spin? Have you ever seen that?
I know what you mean. So what I like to do whenever I put a skewer together is actually have long strips of meat, not chunks of meat.
Oh.
So then you can kind of weave, like you're sewing into it, basically.
I like this.
Yes. So it keeps it on there. It keeps it more secure. And you have more surface area, so it cooks faster.
Yeah, and more char all around.
Yes. Yeah. So I would put them in strips and then weave it through like you're sewing, basically.
And you could do that with a chicken thigh or breast or even a piece of steak.
Yeah, I'm about to I make bourbon bacon chicken skewers. Oh, so good. I'm making it for a party this weekend. And I can't wait because it's one of my favorite things to make. It's delicious. I actually have a reel for that. I'll have to reshare it for you guys.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so good. Okay, let's pretend now we have done some cooking and now we're heading to a picnic or we're hosting the party. I know you have a few things. I'm actually thinking about one from Thanksgiving, maybe last year or the year before. What's the tip with the cooler when it's not a cooler?
A cooler, it's a thermos. You can turn your cooler into a thermos.
Okay.
So basically what you do is you put the hottest tap water you can get, put that in a maybe 2-inch layer on the bottom and close the lid of the cooler for about a minute or two. And what's that is doing is allowing the outside, the insulation to heat up, warm up for you. Remove that either with the spigot that's on the side or just dump it out.
Right.
And then I usually put some broken down boxes down just to be sure that, none of that water gets into whatever you're putting in there. And then you can put hot items in there, maybe put another layer of box, put another hot item, another layer of box, and you can basically have everything stay warm. Say you don't have enough space in your oven.
Right.
This is another way to just keep these warm for a long time, as well as transport them. And they're in a cooler. They're not going to, mess up your car if you make a quick turn or something.
Well, I like that for the travel. I'm even thinking, if I'm hosting a party, I don't maybe want to turn on my oven in the house to keep things warm. And I'm grilling for a lot of people. So that's so great. So when you're saying the boxes, you're meaning like cardboard broken down. So hot stuff isn't necessarily touching the sides of the plastic, or you're putting layers in between the food too, just to be able to stack it up.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's actually a good point because whenever I did share this, someone was worried that, the plastic would kind of leach into the food. It has to be 375 degrees in there for that to happen. So it's
not quite that hot.
No, it's not quite that hot. It's just like a warming box, basically.
Right. So. I saw another technique. Somebody did like a long cook on a substantial piece of meat. Maybe it was a pork butt or something. And then they put it in a warm cooler like that to continue the
carryover cooking.
That's right. Like the slow cooking that happens after you take it off the heat. So part of their recipe was we actually don't finish the whole thing on the grill. We transfer it, in foil or whatever they did into the box, and they let it sort of finish for 20 minutes.
Right. And usually butcher paper is what they'll use. They'll wrap it up. I've seen that a lot. And you can stack a bunch in there. When I did that asado cooking, I cooked all the steaks and then I put them in a cooler. And then when it was time to slice them up, just pull them out of the hot box. Yeah, it was wonderful.
I do love the idea of the transport with it too. Like genius.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, while we're on that subject of transport, let's say we are going to a graduation party, a picnic, somewhere else. So we've cooked food at home and now we got to take it in the car. What tips do you have for transporting food in the car?
So if you have some sort of liquid that you have in a container that maybe doesn't have a lid or it's not a tight fitting lid, a lot of chefs will do this. They'll put a big piece of plastic wrap over the top of the container, and then they'll take a really long piece of plastic wrap, say maybe, depending on how big your container is, maybe 1 foot to 2 foot long, and you pull that so it turns into a plastic wrap rope, basically.
Okay, so you're stretching it. You're kind
stretching
of
it correctly.
Crinkling it together, but then stretching it out.
Yep, and then that becomes your tie. So you're going to go around, make sure that the piece of plastic wrap that you've put on, that it's on top of that. It's not, there's no gaps or anything. And you literally just tie it around as tightly as you can, and even go one step further. If you push down the center, you'll notice that it'll go like concave into kind of like a bowl shape. And that's basically adding another layer of like a vacuum seal for you. Yeah, and it works well. I mean, whenever I transport liquids, I do that, but I also will put it in a box and a towel around it. So you never know.
Yes.
What if someone slams on the brakes in front of you? I always worry about that. So.
Well, there's even a lot of things that I make that aren't necessarily liquid, but they're kind of runny. And I'm even thinking like in a 9x13, I have a lid for it, but I would like this little extra tip of putting the plastic wrap over and around as a tie and then the lid on top.
So many people think that you need to bring the food in the whatever receptacle you're going to serve it in, maybe a platter or, a bowl or something like that. You can put it in another container that's enclosed and then just bring that other thing that you're going to serve it in to the party and serve
pretty
it.
Dish.
Yes, exactly. The pretty dish. So you don't have to struggle with that on the way.
I think some other things I always think about too is like when I have taken something that's maybe salad related, I don't dress it until I get there. So I keep the dressing, the liquid, its own container. Again, I like this idea of the plastic wrap for something like that.
Did you know you're supposed to salt and pepper the lettuce before you add the dressing to it?
Did not know that.
Try it just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. But I mean, you kind of need to season the lettuce, right?
Yes.
I mean, you have a lot of seasoning already in the dressing, but if you try that, it really elevates it. You'd be surprised.
I just saw someone salt and peppering all of the like sandwiches they were making. And I'm like, it's just not something I think about.
Well, speaking of pepper, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I found out, and I looked it up, and it was true. You actually should not add pepper to anything that you're grilling until afterwards, because the grill is actually burning that pepper. The peppercorns, basically.
Yes.
It shouldn't be that high of a heat. So if you want that pepper flavor, do it after it comes off the grill.
Well, I'll add to this. We'll keep upping the ante on pepper. Well, I did just make a steak au poivre on the grill, but I started it in a cast iron skillet to get some fond to make a pan sauce. And then I finished it. And I would say that is pretty peppery. So I think maybe because we did it on the grill and it maybe muted some of the pepper flavor, it was still very delicious.
Right.
So that's one thing. And the other that I just saw is, we think of salt and pepper are good to go right out of the containers, but I think it was one of the food magazines. They toasted their peppercorns first before putting it in the grinder.
That makes sense.
And it just gave it a much more bold flavor.
Haven't
done it yet.
And you probably don't need as much pepper then too, because the flavor is more enhanced.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, like a dry pan, let it cool, then put it in your grinder.
Good to know.
Janet, as we're talking about like going to a party, like a potluck, a summer picnic, my family is famous for making way too much food. I mean, for 8 people, we probably make enough for 24 people. And that's not going to change. I will say that for sure. But I am thinking for someone out there that doesn't cook a lot for big crowds, and it's for like a picnic or some kind of summer potluck. How do we think about portioning? Like if I'm making one of the classic sides, like a potato salad or baked beans or coleslaw, what kind of advice do you give someone on that?
Sure. That's one of the number one questions people ask me. And like you said, you want to have enough and you don't want to run out of anything.
Right.
So you usually overcommit. So what I like to do is actually say an amount of ounces. So a lot of people say, oh, a half a cup a person. Well, a half a cup of coleslaw and a half a cup of potato salad weigh totally different things.
Yeah.
So I basically like to say 3 to 4 ounces of potato salad or coleslaw or baked beans per person. And that'll give you a nice roundabout number you can work with.
Okay. So if we have a kitchen scale or we bought a 5-pound bag of potatoes, we know where we're starting,
right,
in terms of ounces.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you're making pasta salad, I usually do about 2 ounces of pasta uncooked
per person
before I cook it. Yeah.
All right.
And then corn, if you have, big eaters, I would say 1 ear per person. If it's not really going to be like the star of the show and there's a lot of other sides, maybe a half of one per person. Oh, I have a corn hack. Do you want a corn hack?
I was going to say, don't you have there's a microwave thing you can do to shuck it. Is that right?
Yeah. It basically cooks it and you can shuck it much easier afterwards.
Okay. Tell us that
So
one.
the key is you have to cut it to the point where the kernels are exposed. So we're not at the part where like it looks like the hair, the silk is sticking out.
You're not at the top,
at the bottom.
you're at the bottom.
Right. Where they cut it off the stalk. And you're going to notice it's a little skinny, and then it's going to start to open up into that cob and be a little bit wider. Maybe about a half an inch past where that gets a little wider, cut there, okay? And then you'll see on the side that the yellow kernels will be showing up there.
Yes.
Put them in the microwave. You can do up to 3 ears of corn in the microwave. 3 to 4 minutes usually.
Okay.
Sometimes if they're a little bigger, you might have to go up to 5, but usually 3 to 4 is the sweet spot. And when they come out, they're going to be piping hot, so be careful. I usually will either use like an oven mitt or a towel, and you grab, not the part that you cut, the top of it where all the silks are sticking out. You're going to grab that, and you'll slowly be able to push that cob out, and it's going to pop right out. No silks, fully cooked, good to go.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's really satisfying, actually.
Well, I think I saw you do this on KDKA.
Yeah.
So you're squeezing out through that bottom side that you cut, and it had no silk on it either.
That's the worst part, is getting those little pesky silk hairs off of there, and it just does the work for you. It's wonderful.
So it steams it, and it also, if you aren't going to grill your corn, it keeps more space available for all the meats that are going on the grill.
If you do want to grill it, that's fine. It doesn't
throw
really,
it back on.
Yeah, just throw it on the grill, get a little char in there. I loved grilled corn.
Me too.
Oh, I make a grilled corn and black bean salsa, and it's perfect because it's Steelers, Pirates, Penguins, and you can always bring it.
It's our regional colors.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can find that. You've had that on your Instagram website.
Did. Yeah, on Chef Life Hacks, if you go, I just recently gave you 3 recipes for my favorite salsas. I think I did my mango salsa and my pineapple salsa too.
And that stuff doesn't have mayo or whatever, and I think it can sit out at room temperature and gets even better.
And it's all vegan. Like you don't have to make any swaps to make those things vegan already. Not just vegetarian, vegan.
Yeah, and it's not because you tried. It just is naturally that way.
And it's delicious. Everyone's going to love it. Yeah. This is Janet Loughran of Chef Life Hacks, and you're listening to The Pittsburgh Dish.
I am thinking I want to go back to like portioning because you've mentioned a couple things about the sides. So what about the burgers and dogs or things like that? Do you have just some general guidelines for the average human?
Yes. So it's not a concrete amount because I like to say there's going to be some parties where you have a lot of kids. There's going to be some parties where you have a lot of like high school or college athletes, and the portioning for those groups of people
eaters.
much different. So as a rule, I usually say if you have just, regular eaters, I would say 1 hamburger or 1 hot dog per person. Not everybody's going to have a hamburger and a hot dog, but if you know that we have a lot of kids, I actually like to do sliders. I feel like I'm on a slider kick recently.
I love sliders.
You know why? Because it allows you to, have the bite, have the flavor, but you don't have to commit to a whole big burger.
Right.
And it also saves you money because you don't need as much meat on those sliders to satisfy someone, and they think they're getting, a nice little meal.
Well, I think it's perfect for the kids, or it is also perfect for the eater that they're torn between the hot dog or the hamburger. So having a slider makes me feel like I had a hamburger and can still eat a hot dog too.
Exactly.
The other hack that I've done, getting back to the corn, I've cut the corn cobs in half or even thirds sometimes. So you only have like the smaller nugget cob of corn.
Yeah.
And then that goes further too, because again, people may not want to eat that whole big cob of corn in front of people or just in general. And so again, kind of stretching the amount, stretching the dollar.
Exactly.
And it's almost leaning into finger foodie, especially perfect if you are doing more of like a cocktail-y, not necessarily a sit-down meal kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. One thing a lot of people don't remember, you should probably have either some floss or toothpicks for your guests if you want to be the hostess for the mostest.
True.
With the mostest.
That is true. Is there anything else about portioning, like drinks?
Oh, yeah, drinks. Okay, so if you have, water or pop or iced tea or something, I usually do 2 to 3 per person in those in that realm. If you have alcoholic drinks, I do 1 to 2 per adult per hour.
Okay.
It allows you to not get too much, but also not run out. You'll know your guests. If you have a lot of guests that aren't drinkers, obviously scale that back. But I think that's kind of a good rule of thumb.
Back to like the water and pop. Are you talking about like bottles and cans, like 1 per hour?
Oh, for the bottles and cans, I just do that for the whole party. Like,
okay.
Yeah, good question. But with the alcoholic drinks, you just kind of, because they pace themselves that way usually.
We hope.
We hope. Maybe every half an hour, depending on who you're friends with.
I think that's great advice. We just talked with Laura Magone of the Wedding Cookie Table community, and she created a calculator similar to what you're giving us here for the wedding cookies. How many should you have per adult or whatever? And I think it's sort of the same with a picnic or a party. We have to do some math. And if you haven't done a lot of parties, a lot of times we overmake, we overbuy. So we've wasted money and we don't want to waste food. So,
exactly.
Great advice.
Thank you.
All right, Janet, I think we have covered, hosting or going to the picnic or grad party or something too. Let's move to sort of vacation thoughts. What if we're going on like a road trip to the beach or just a little visit to the beach? If we are driving by car and then we're going to spend the day there, what are some food items that might work? I'm thinking back to the salsas that you just mentioned.
Yeah,
those would be great all day. Is there any other, dish or recipe that comes to mind for like the perfect beach picnic?
Sure. What you want to kind of stay away from are mayonnaise-based items because if those aren't in a cold environment, they can go bad.
Yeah, it's tougher.
So I make this thing called a muffuletta.
Yes.
Actually, I made it whenever you and Aleka and I did a whole 3-part series. And
that's right.
It's basically a pressed Italian sandwich. And the longer you let it sit, even days, it just gets better and better and better.
Good.
It's so good. So basically what it is focaccia bread, or you could use ciabatta. You need something a little more sturdy.
Like crusty on the outside.
Bread. Right, You need a crusty bread. On the bottom, I will put either basil pesto, or sometimes I've done like a sun-dried tomato pesto. That's really good.
And again, those are mayonnaise-free.
Sure. Yes, exactly. And then what I usually do is a layer of cheese. You could do provolone, Swiss, any kind of cheese you really want. And then I like to get some of the good Italian meats, so prosciutto and sopressata and capicola and all that good stuff. Anything that you want, salami, you could just keep it simple with salami.
Yes.
And then I make an olive tapenade, which you can also buy, but it's basically a medley of olives, usually some pimento, usually some garlic, a little bit of acidity, maybe from a lemon juice or vinegar, and parsley. And that's kind of like a paste, basically. And then oh my God, I love olives. I don't know. Good. A lot of people don't, but I'm an olive person. And then you're going to slather that on the top layer, sandwich it. And then the key is you got to wrap it tightly, the whole loaf. Okay. You haven't cut it up yet. The whole loaf is tightly wrapped in a plastic wrap, and then put something heavy on top.
You really want to press it.
You really want to press it.
Yeah.
So say it could be, a Dutch oven, a cast iron skillet, or if you don't have any of that, basically a cookie sheet with a bunch of heavy cans on top is, and then just let that go at least for an hour or two. I mean, if you can't wait, you can't wait.
Put it in the bottom of the picnic basket.
Yes. Yeah. And then before you go, you're just going to slice them into your sandwiches, maybe wrap them individually, and they'll stay together too. They kind of, all those flavors meld, they all soak into the bread, and it's just heavenly. I got to make it again.
Yeah. Now that you're saying that, all those cured meats keep, all of those like pestos and olive tapenades are fine for a warmer day.
Yep.
I have seen someone even make this with a tuna, like a nice flaky tuna in olive oil.
Interesting.
So if you wanted a different vibe there too.
Oh yeah, I should do like a pressed sandwich series or something.
Yes, I love that.
Yum. Oh, that sounds good. Like a French dip. Oh my God, my wheels are going.
This is what happens when we get talking about food. So Janet, beyond the muffuletta and the salsas we talk about, are there any other foods that you've taken to a beach and, you like to say, oh, this is good for all day?
Yeah, it's easy. Watermelon is my go-to. I love watermelon. That was actually one of my pregnancy cravings.
So refreshing. I mean, it could go to all the things we talked about so far, grilling at home, going to a picnic, or going to the beach.
This past weekend, I was at my in-laws' house for Father's Day, and they asked me, how do you pick a good watermelon? And I blurted out and I said, a yellow belly and a small bumholio. And they were like, what? And I said, well, you're going to remember that, aren't you? And
certainly.
What I meant by that is a yellow belly means you're trying to find the biggest yellow spot on the watermelon, because that means it was left on the vine to ripen on the ground for as long as possible.
Okay.
And that means for a sweeter, result.
Yeah, that's the pale side that was underneath. It didn't get all the chlorophyll action.
Exactly. And small bumholio. Okay, so there's going to be two different ends of the watermelon. One has been removed, is a little bit bigger because it was removed from the vine. The other side is going to be a circle.
We're talking about the other side. This is the other side we're talking about,
right.
the non-stem end.
Exactly. And the smaller that circle, believe it or not, the sweeter it is.
Interesting.
All those juices have concentrated over time, and it hasn't failed me. As soon as someone told me that and I started looking for that darn thing.
Oh my goodness. What a hack. I now know more about watermelon than I ever have before.
I can't believe I just said that on a podcast.
It's okay. I didn't have to bleep you out. We have this button just in case. All right. So we've been talking about the food and the picnic. Let's just take the wheels off. We don't have to talk about food. Are there any other tips that you have discovered? I know you have some younger kids, and when you go to the beach, what are some things that you have implemented to make a better day of it?
So I have a good one with sand. You know how the kids, you're trying to get them to get all that sand off and not get back in the water before they walk to the car and their feet are just caked in it.
Yes.
If you bring either baby powder or baking powder to the beach and just kind of put that on their skin, it dries it out completely and it sloughs right off.
Wow.
It's crazy. I mean, it's like a magic trick. And and the kids smell like baby powder and makes you think, nostalgic whenever they're little and stuff. So yeah, that's the number one hack, because I don't like sand. I would rather go to a pool than a beach. Isn't that weird?
No.
Isn't that strange?
I don't want sand in the car.
Yeah,
so
right?
I like this hack.
Cool.
Any other travel hacks?
One that just came to mind, if you want to hide your valuables on the beach, put them in a clean diaper, but wrap it up like it looks like a dirty diaper that you've just changed, because no one's going to take that if they're rummaging through your stuff,
That's genius. So take a clean diaper.
Yes.
You're going to all go in the water. You've got a phone or a wallet or something. Put it inside the diaper.
Yeah. Wrap it up like it's dirty.
Wrap it up as if it's been used.
Exactly. Yep.
Genius.
Thanks.
Janet, I think we're so prepared for the summer. We've talked about all the things on a watermelon to a baby's diaper. I don't know, but it's all good. Thank you so much. I really did love the portioning stuff we just went through, because I'm thinking about that for myself. You haven't been on in a while, so I would love to just reintroduce you to some of the listeners that are out there. Can you tell us, do you have anything coming up in the near future? Any events, anything happening, any goals this summer?
Well, I have an event this weekend. Do you know Selena Pompiani? She's a KDKA alum.
Yes.
And her dad, Bob Pompiani, I would recognize that voice anywhere.
Sports icon on CBS Pittsburgh.
King, Pittsburgh's king. She has hired me to cater some of her appetizers for her event this Saturday. That's where the chicken skewers are going. And yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Oh my gosh. And are you doing a little bit more? Do you have more clients now?
I do. I have a meal delivery service.
Yeah.
I'll send out a menu on Sunday, and then the following Monday is when I'll deliver. And everything is heat and eat. So it's fully cooked, fully prepared for you. And my clients love it, because even I hate the question, what's for dinner? And I'm a chef. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You come home from a long day, everybody's just hungry. And it's nice because they have all the heating instructions for them. So yeah, that's been really fun. And what else? I have a baby shower this summer coming up. I'm just kind of seeing what comes my way. And I have, there's going to be a seafood boil company got in contact with me, and they're sending me a 120 quart seafood boil apparatus, even with the flame underneath. So
my goodness,
we should do you want to do a seafood boil? Me and you and a bunch of the foodie friends?
Sure.
Let's do it. We've got to figure out where to have it.
But that's a great summertime thing.
Oh, I love that. I love boils.
Janet, just in case people are not finding and following you right now, could you remind us of your social handles and the places that people can go to even contact you.
Sure. It's Chef Life Hacks. That's on Instagram and Facebook, as well as my website, which is called redwagonmeals.net. Red Wagon Meals came before Chef Life Hacks.
Yes.
And I kind of wanted to keep it separate. It's just two different parts of my personality and of my world. But yeah, I have a website now. Look at me.
I love it. Congratulations
Thanks,
on everything. All right. You know the show format, so I am going to ask you this final question. Mm-hmm. The name of the show is The Pittsburgh Dish. Mm-hmm. Janet, what's the best dish you've had to eat this past week?
I would have to say those lobster sliders. I don't know if we talked about that.
We didn't talk about it, but I think I saw it on your feed. Did you make them for your dad and your husband?
Yes. So it all coincided. Lobster Boys reached out to me. They sent me an email and I had to check if it was a scam because I was like, wait, they want to send me 4 live lobsters in the mail? Yeah. And I was like, of course. I mean, why? How could I say no? I set up the date for it to be delivered for Father's Day because I knew that I could, do something special. My father-in-law loves lobster and it was really fun to make it for him.
And it was a lot of lobster.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You showed how to crack it out of the shell and the claw. Mm-hmm. I saw that. So it's neatly done if somebody wants to see that. But then you chopped it up and you made a really yummy lobster salad on grilled, they toasted rolls, right?
Yeah.
Looked so good.
I just used toasted rolls and then it's really simple. Just a little bit of mayonnaise, a little bit of lemon juice. I did the leaves of the celery, not the celery itself. I'm weird about celery. I don't like that little crunch. And if I actually do have celery in it, I'll blanch it for 30 seconds and then shock it before I put it into the item. But yes, the leaves taste like celery.
Yes.
Without that weird crunch for me. Because I don't even like water chestnuts. I'm weird about textures.
It's your texture thing.
Isn't that weird?
No. But you're a chef and you know yourself.
Right. And then chives. I had some chives in my garden and then just mixed it all up and you're good to go. It
done. Looked so good. Well, Janet, it has been such a pleasure to catch up with you and to get all of these tips, hacks, techniques for the summer. Thank you so much for coming over. And thanks again for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
My pleasure. It's always a fun time with you.
If you enjoyed the show, we would love for you to become a monthly monetary supporter. Just click the link at the bottom of this show's description or visit our website at pittsburghdish.com and tap the support button. And if you want to follow my own food adventures, you can find me on social media at Doug Cooking. That's our show for this week. Thanks again to all of our guests and contributors, and to Kevin Selecki of Carnegie Accordion Company for providing the music to our show. We'll be back again next week with another fresh episode. Stay tuned.